Putin's government wants to use Shiba Inu Coin in Russia-Ukraine war. Classified Shib news today. Must watch. While cryptocurrencies, by virtue of their decentralized protocols, can facilitate social equity, they apparently can't do anything about geopolitical stability. That's a shame for altcoins like Shib, which have demonstrated that they don't exactly perform well during periods of intense strife. Of course, I'm not breaking any new ground when saying this. One of the reasons why we haven't had a major outbreak of armed conflict, where one nation invades another, in the developed part of the world, is the broader economic cost. Obviously, war entails, in addition to loss of human life, destruction of infrastructure and imposition of opportunity costs. Further, even if one were to make the argument that a conquering nation could exploit the labor and resources of the conquered, the latter would not exactly be in a mood to aid the invader. Any brief look at U.S. military involvement in the Middle East would confirm this. Therefore, the latest tensions in Eastern Europe do nothing fundamentally positive for Shib, nor any other crypto. Today we're going to talk all about what Russia did to Shiba Inu Coin. Welcome to Shiba Inu Coin, your daily dose of Shiba. If you're interested in everything around Shiba, this is the place for you. Subscribe if you want to stay updated with all the Shib news, predictions, and stay one step ahead in the crypto world. Make sure to hit the like button for us to provide you with more Shib news. Don't forget to enable all notifications to join our weekly cash giveaway pinned in the comments. Before we get to our topic, let's take a look at the chart and see what the price of Shiba is doing on the 25th of March, shall we? The Shiba Inu price is range-bound as the market tightens further. The bulls have failed to sustain the price above 25 millionths of a dollar, while the bears have not been able to push the price below 23 millionths of a dollar. A breakout of this range is likely in the next few hours, which could see SHIB USD move up to 26 millionths of a dollar or down to 22 millionths of a dollar. The RSI is currently at 41 and is showing no clear direction as the market consolidates further. However, a break below 40 could see the RSI move into oversold territory, which would signal that the bears are in control of the market. Shiba Inu price analysis today is bullish after 2 days of consolidation and sideways trading. The price opened the day at 2,367 hundred millionths of a dollar and hit a high of 2,412 hundred millionths of a dollar in the first hour of trading before it consolidated and formed a symmetrical triangle pattern. Off the market in the second half of the day and pushed the price down to 2,334 hundred millionths of a dollar. However, the bulls quickly regained control and pushed the price up to 2,367 hundred millionths of a dollar, where it currently trades. Now let's get back to the topic. To be fair, the Associated Press reported that Russia is open to a diplomatic path regarding the crisis in Ukraine. To recap a complex issue, Russia sees Ukraine joining NATO as a red line in the sand. However, the circumstances also involve sovereignty. Basically, Ukraine as a sovereign nation should be able to decide what it wants to do free from duress. Unfortunately, CNN reports that Russian units and missiles are advancing toward the Ukrainian border, directly contradicting the shift in tone. And before you say fake news, look, I can only report what's being reported. Should hostilities break out into armed conflict, I don't think wagering heavily on Shib is smart. War isn't good for anyone, especially crypto-based economies. Even if you're merely loosely following the 2022 Winter Olympics, you've probably heard of Russia's Kamila Valieva, a phenomenal figure skater unfortunately caught with a banned substance in a December drug test. As sports journalist Dan Wetzel argued, she should be prevented from participating in this Olympics, in part because it's not fair to clean figure skaters. However, she's cleared to skate in a process Wetzel described as an insult to intelligence. Basically, he wrote, the Anti-Doping Association of a country that has been found guilty of widespread doping managed to delay a doping test and then argue that due to that very delay, its gold medal favorite should be cleared of a doping charge. I see parallels with the present geopolitical flashpoint. Officially, Russia has no intention to invade Ukraine, but will do so for fear that its neighbor will join an alliance that prevents Russia from invading sovereign nations. Personally, I can't tell if Russian President Vladimir Putin is a bad guy or merely a frustrated evangelical with access to nuclear weapons. But you know what they say, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So the way this conflict is brewing, it's not good for Shib or any other cryptocurrency. And believe me, it's not a conflict some 6,000 miles away or whatever. Instead, if Russia decides to invade, then it will attempt to make us pay, since the US must then commit to destroying Russia's economy. Therefore, a cyber attack seems almost inevitable. Sadly, cyber attacks represent a key vulnerability for the crypto sector. If your wealth is entirely digitalized, a severe Russian cyber attack may render actualizing your wealth difficult due to infrastructural damage. In that case, you're much better off with physical cash, even precious metals, than Shib or any other digital coin or token. Nervous but hopeful. As belligerent as the Russians have been recently, I can't help but wonder if they're really going to pull the trigger. If they do, they must surely know that eventually the US must respond militarily. As the lone superpower and a force for good on balance, it cannot afford an affront to its credibility. Plus, the US cannot afford to give China any ideas. So I don't think it's any stretch of the imagination that this could set off World War III. In my humble opinion, World War III would not be good for Shib. Still, the Russians are also brilliant trolls, so there is a path to diplomacy, which the Russians could take. Granted, they cornered themselves into a high-stakes stare-down, so I'm not 100% sure how this all goes down. Let's hope that we get to pull on an empty chamber. In all this mess, a good news regarding Shib came out that an anonymous Shiba Inu whale has made a large purchase worth approximately $1 million as the meme token reaches the local bottom, Whale Stats and TradingView report. According to data from whale tier wallet tracking service Whale Stats, the wallet made a large purchase on March 5th at 5 a.m. UTC. The receiving address now holds $109.2 million worth of various tokens, including Shiba Inu, USDT, Sand, and Mana. The second largest holding in the whale's wallet is Tether's USDT stablecoin on the Ethereum blockchain. Unfortunately, the wallet is not listed on WhaleStat's list of the largest Ethereum addresses. Hence, there is no way to determine the performance of the wallet and the Shiba Inu position specifically. Shib's market performance. According to TradingView, Shiba Inu has entered the zone of the local bottom of 23 millionths of a dollar, and also reached the 200-day moving average line that has been acting as a support zone for the token. Previously, Shib had bounced from it to 28 millionths of a dollar, with the support of the rebound on the market. Unfortunately, the large purchase made by the whale could not help the meme token, with $12.9 billion market capitalization. That's all for today. Also, we would like to mention that this is not a channel intended specifically to provide financial advice, and we do not ask you to invest in any company. This is merely a channel directed towards bringing educational content to your doorsteps. With that in mind, before you invest in anything, we recommend you do thorough, wide-spectrum research on the topic. We hope you like this video. Let us know in the comments below if you're a Shiba holder, and make sure to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. See you next time at Shiba Inu Coin. Bye!